How rewarding has it been? I know it's something you have passion for, but has it really, given you the opportunity to break even?
Okay, so when we say breaking even and rewarding, those are relative. Let me put it relative, because for me, it's just about everybody understanding what their purpose is and what they are meant to be doing. Over time, I realized just being on the spotlight wasn't something for me necessarily. But then the people I train have been there, they have gone out and they are doing bigger things, and that gives me a better satisfaction. So it's better to just be on the background and do, and that alone for me gives me joy.
All right, so in putting you out there, are there any collaborations you are actually looking at in making your brand become well pronounced or well known amongst your competitors, so to speak, in your field?
Yeah, so there are projects that are ongoing right now. They are still in the planning phase, and we are hoping to get better at it and do better things. Meanwhile, we still have a few collaborations ongoing, with some other companies and all. Of course, they are senior partners, and they are elders in the industry that that are looking at us and trying to support and see how we grow also. Because the truth about this thing is, everybody has a geolocation, right? So if you are in Ikeja and I am in Surulere, and we both do the same thing, we are definitely there for different reasons, with different aims and different motives, and we are also there to also service different kind of clients and kind of people. So we have some things that are ongoing right now, and we're hoping to release them soon.
All right, before I throw you back to my colleague, I would like to ask you, what really makes you unique? Because we have a lot of people who are also doing what you're doing, but what stands you out from them?
There is something I have always told a lot of my colleagues, and it is the fact that without being a musician, your understanding of musicianship is limited when you are a sound engineer. Now, this is what I mean. I've had cases where in different places where I've worked, musicians tend to understand me more than any other engineer who speaks with them, because I have been on that side of life. I have played. I have been frustrated by engineers. So coming to this side, I now understand what it's like in both worlds. So I have been able to create a balance for myself, and that gives me the uniqueness that, I have. In fact, some bands have had engineers want to travel with them, and they scrap them. They bought tickets, but they scrap them. They call me, buy tickets for me, and I'm not aware. All I need to do is just put on a clothes, carry a shirt or backpack, and then be on the plane with them on the road. So because we have this, I make sure I build a certain kind of relationship, because musicianship is a different ball game from engineering, but they are all doing almost the same thing. But then we are here to complement each other. My job is to make you look good on stage or sound good on stage, irrespective of how bad you are. Do you understand? So I've been able to balance that out, and I feel that it has worked for me, basically. It has worked for me over time.
Is that what you mean by when you say that you try to close the gap between the artist and the music foundations? I saw that in your background. And how do you pass that over to your students?
Okay, so the way I teach is, first of all, I teach from a real life point of view, right? I am this kind of person who, if you come to my academy now, maybe you have a 9 to 5. I use your 9 to 5 to teach you what engineering is. I use a real life experience to translate it to you, so you understand why certain things happen to you in certain places, or understand, because that's the truth. I mean, I was consulting for a church one time, and okay, they actually called me, you know, to consult for their sound system. So when I got into the church, I mentioned a few problems the man had, and the pastor was like, whoa. And in fact, the one that caught him was, I told him, your members will be sleeping. And he was like, how you take no? I said, people on this side will be sleeping. People on this side will be sleeping. People on this side will not be sleeping. And he was like, wow. I said, yes. So by the time I analyzed the situation, I explained certain things to him, and he was like, oh, okay. You know, and so that's how I basically teach. I don't come and tell you 1 + 1 is equals to 2, or you calculate 5 watts per head for sure, and then you're gone. No. I use your real life experiences to teach you. Sometimes I ask, okay, what route did you pass through? Did you hear anything musical? Did you see? Because music is all around us. The sound of this AC is music to me. The flickering of the light is music. It has a time signature to it. You know, so I use all of these things to translate music, and I believe that's one of the things that make me different and unique in the industry.
Okay, quite an interesting and
That's
very,
huge.
very, very, you know, enlightening conversation. You know, who would have thought that there is these branches to sound production? So if you say here is sound person, you basically would just first of all think of somebody that'll come and join jacks and heads together and turn on the mixer and music starts playing and all that. But thank you so much for breaking it down. But before we let you go, because we're pressed for time, before we let you go, what is your word to people out there who want to get into the kind of field that you are in? What does it entail for them?
You see how I breathe, have you?
Because it's huge.
First of all, sound alone is huge. It's broad. It's deeper than this 5 or 10 minutes conversation.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. People are doing 10 years courses. People are done with 5, 6 years courses, and they are going to do other ones that are going to complement the previous ones. You know, it's very broad. And what I would say is, you need to pay good attention to it. You must be really, really sure that this is what you want to do, because trust me, in this part of the world, we are highly undervalued. We are the first. In fact, we know the venue. We are the first to know the venue after event planner.
True.
So sometimes, depending on the scope of the setup, we are there 2-3 days before. And sometimes you go days without eating or without even having a bath, depending on your arrangement. You know, so these are some of the things that we have to go through. And time. Sound is not something you just dive into and expect in 3 years to start getting big gigs. It doesn't work. Everything takes course. It takes a course. It takes time to get there. And of course, it's hard work. It's hard work, trust me. It's going to be harder if you do not have a musical foundation. It's going to be more difficult to get into sound production if you don't have a music foundation, you know, or music background. So, of course, when you come into it, just put your all into it. Don't expect good pay from day one. Nah.
You needed to put that out there.
I need to put it there. Don't expect good pay from day one. It's the truth.
So is it always that? Is it always like that, or you're just making it so clear that money shouldn't be your focus?
Well, money shouldn't be your focus from the onset, but then
eventually
it will still pay off.
Okay.
So be kind.
For some of us, it hasn't. For some of us, it's as if it hasn't paid off.
David, are you being honest
But
right
then,
now?
I'm being honest.
Look at the fabric you used to sew your senator. It doesn't come easy.
Let's carry those who are watching.
Of course, this is an embodiment of a whole lot of stuff, you know. So, you know, that's.
I can understand.
That's.
All right. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence this
welcome.
morning. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
You've heard it from the professional himself. If you want to get into this business, something you need to give your time. Just like every other life affair, life event, you need to give it your time.